Do you want to bring your flight simulator experience to the next level? Hi guys, my name is JP from FSiPanel. I'm the developer of FSiPanel, and I want to show you in the next 3 or 4 minutes how FSiPanel is different from any other software available on the market. First of all, as you can see on your screen, FSiPanel is aircraft type specific. So it will take care of the exact aircraft system based on the aircraft configuration. So the speed that you will be set on will be the exact speed that you need to fly for the specific configuration. You will have a correct nav setting ready for your approach. Your autopilot modes will be set as per the FCOM, as per the handbook of the aircraft. Your FMC, FMS or MCDU, depending on the aircraft type, will be set for your approach. And finally, there is a very nice feature, which is the snapshot features, allowing you to save a particular position, settings, and repeat approaches without losing much time. So do you think we can fly an approach within 1 minute on a PMDG 737 NGXu? Okay, let me show you exactly in real time how FSiPanel will help you train your aircraft to the perfection. Alright, I just started FSiPanel, and as you can see here on the left side of the screen, there is no detected aircraft so far, but the simulator has been detected by FSiPanel. So we will also be using Active Sky. So I simply started Active Sky with the actual weather. That's the only thing you need to do. And now we will go into the simulator. So as you can see, I just started my simulator and I will now select a compatible aircraft. So on this example, I will show you with the PMDG 737. You can use any other compatible add-on, but for these demonstrations, let's go with the 737 NGXu. So we're gonna take 800 NGXu. All right, that's one of the aircraft we can use. Any will do. Just make sure it's an NGXu with FSiPanel 2020. Okay, and now we just need to select the airport where we want to fly our approaches. Let's try some approaches in Zurich, Switzerland. So I just select Zurich. It doesn't matter which runway or anything, just press OK, and we will start the simulator together. So I'll see you in 20 seconds when the simulator is ready. All right, here we are in the simulator. As you can see, PMDG is still initializing all the systems, so please do not do anything while initialization is in progress. This is very important. Next, two things we need to make sure with FSiPanel. First of all, air engines running. Make sure your engines are running. And second, very important step, make sure your IRSs are aligned. All right, so as I told you that FSiPanel is aircraft type specific and will take care of your system, let's make it more interesting. And right now we could fly, but let's make it a little bit more interesting. We are going to screw up our own cockpit to see if FSiPanel can catch and correct the situation. So let's start with the fuel. Let's put some fuel pumps off. Let's see maybe a generator off the line here, and maybe the seatbelt sign off. As we are a little bit beyond final, it's a good idea to have the seatbelt sign on. Let's put some of the anti-ice off. We can also put some hydraulics pumps off. Now let's go unpressurize with the packs off and bleed off on number 1. And I think now we are quite correctly screwed, I would say. So right now the cockpit doesn't look very nice, but as I told you, FSiPanel is taking care of your system. So let's see if that happens. We are back in the cockpit, and basically right now we could fly an approach. So for this example, I use the PMDG 737 NGXu, but you can use any aircraft compatible with FSiPanel. All right now we are at max landing weight, probably above max landing weight even, because we have full tanks when we load the PMDG by default. I can change the weight right now on the aircraft, or I can go like this on FSiPanel. I will get a warning and I will be able to change the weight later on. So let's go for the second option where we will do that. All right, to show you in real time, I will close FSiPanel and start it again so you can see how fast FSiPanel works. So we start FSiPanel, takes 3 or 4 seconds, and usually what's happening now is the airport is detected, Zurich. We are on the runway 34, that's correct. My PMDG has been detected as the active aircraft, which is as well a good thing, and active sky is detected, and green means it is working. So now we can set our approach quickly together and see if it works. So Zurich, the runway, I will just change the runway. So the runway, we want to do an LS approach. So let's put runway 14. And now I could select any kind of positions, but we said we want to do an approach and see if FSiPanel can set us up within 1 minute. So let's go for a long final. All right. So now basically we have a summary on the top right of your screen. We want to fly an ILS runway 14, 8 nautical miles, and we should be at 3,700 feet. This is what we expect. So when I click move aircraft now, as expected, the aircraft is overweight. No problem, I can decide on the 3 following options. Overweight means I want to train overweight landings. So I could choose that and the aircraft will just fly with the actual weight. I can click on set max landing weight and FSiPanel will automatically set the max landing weight, or I can set a manual load. So let's do the third option together. When I do that, I get this screen for the fuel. You see that FSiPanel suggests a nice fuel of 7 tons, I mean metric. So 7 tons will allow you any kind of scenario from star or from pilot waypoint for all arrival and go around and maybe come back for landing. So this is a nice figures on this aircraft. And this is your zero fuel weight. So if you move your zero fuel weight too high, you can see that we get red figures for the aircraft landing weight. That means I'm going to be overweight for my landing. And I can adjust fuels and zero fuel weight to get the actual weight. So let's put an aircraft around 61 tons. That's nice. 61 tons. All right. So when I click update load, now the aircraft will be set up for us. So we'll see what's happening. So we go into P3D, and as always, please do not touch anything. Now we see within 1 minute if that works. The first thing we're expecting is to see our flaps moving to flaps 30 for the approach. So we see that FSiPanel is now moving your flaps to 30. Do not touch anything again. And now here we are in the sky. So let's see what's happening. You see the autopilot modes are set. The gears going down. FMC is programmed now for you. You can see that ILS 14 has been set. Maybe I can bring that to we can see better what's happening there. Zero fuel weight will be set, cost index, cruising altitude, and now the speed will be set for landing speed for flaps 30 as we decided. And now we have the last step, which is you see the landing speed and the zero fuel weight, and we should be ready. So aircraft ready for your training, hold your brake for 2 seconds to take control. So we made it. So very fast, as you can see, FSiPanel has managed everything. So let's see together what happened. Remember, we screwed ourselves for cockpit. Let's see the overhead now. We started by screwing up a little bit about the fuel. Now the fuel pumps or center pumps are off because we don't have any fuel in the center pump. Then we have the landing lights are all on because we're on final. If we look at the generator that we put offline, now the generator is back online. We have the seatbelt sign on. We have all the anti-icing on as required. We have the hydraulic pump electrical one on. We turn it off. Then we are pressurized and we can see that the packs are on auto and the bleed is back to on. We can see the pressurization is on auto. We have the landing altitude Zurich 1400 feet, cruising altitude right now. We see our ignitions to continuous, and all the lights are set as expected. So basically FSiPanel did the job as expected. Now if we look into our into our MCP modes, we can see that we have the VREF speed here, 148. If I look into my screen, I can see that my VREF for flaps 30 is 143 plus 5 knots, which is the common practice, and the FCOM recommendation if the wind is less than 10 knots headwind, so which is the case now. So the speed has been set by FSiPanel to 148, which is correct. We have the correct heading, we have the correct altitude, we have the course for the ILS. If we look into our PFD, we have localizer and glide slope. If we look into our ND, we can see that our approach has been programmed in the FMC. So basically we see that we are just close of point Osnem to Zurich. and we are ready to fly with the FMC. And nav setting has been done properly. We should see 11175 on both sides. So basically from now on you are ready to fly. So you see how easy it is. If I would select an approach on vectors, to fly an approach on vectors, FSiPanel will set flaps 5, the lights will be different, the speed will be flaps 5. So you can basically expect a correct setup from any configuration of this aircraft. FSiPanel is type specific. So isn't that easy? Now if you want to fly the approach, as you can see, we are now in a position freeze. The aircraft is sitting in the air, not moving. From there, you can change anything you want. You can set your minima, you can change anything you want, and then you could take a snapshot, take a picture of this position, and you'll be able to fly it later on. Okay, so let's fly this approach and then see the landing report. So let's go ahead and fly this approach now. So the only thing I need to do to fly the approach now, hold my brake 2 seconds, arm approach, localizer is captured, glide slope is coming anytime soon, and I will select the second autopilot, and now we are set. Localizer and glide slope captured. The aircraft will go down and I'll meet you on the ground just before landing for the landing report.
A few moments later.
Alright, we are on short final now for this approach. I turned off automation, and now we are going to do common mistake when we fly a 737. So let's go for it. Usually what happens with the young second officer, what I see on the line is people going down correctly like you are just now, and now what's happening is the aircraft is very fast and we are getting afraid from the ground, so we start to pull up slowly, and we see now 3 white. Alright, and now we have to correct, and now if we don't correct right now on the 7.3, we're gonna have a sink rate and we lose our approach. So I'm going to correct, watch the speed as well, and we will land slightly left of center line, which is as well left or right. Some small mistake that we correct on a daily basis. Now you can see that we are coming back on the glide, and we will float a little bit for the landing, and we will go slightly left. Okay, now I start refusing the ground, flaring, retarding. I'm left and I'm floating, and I pull, and now we land. So a bit long. Right away on top you can see we have a landing summary with a landing distance, a touchdown speed, and everything is available as a quick summary. So I will just stop here on the runway, and we will go into FSiPanel to have a look at our landing report. Alright, parking brake is set. I take FSiPanel and you can see we have a landing report there. So if I click on landing report, let me put it in the right place so you can see everything. We have a summary, Zurich runway 14, the weather that we flew, and now we can see that my landing distance was really unsafe, too long. Deviation from center line, on purpose, I was left of center line, which is unsafe, so I know that this is 2 items that I need to train. Otherwise, my touchdown was nice, but you can see that even though you have a nice landing, those 2 figures are not good, so not very nice. The touchdown speed was okay, the bank was not too bad, and the pitch was okay. So we can see now the lateral and vertical deviation. On the lateral deviation, on purpose, we went a little bit left, and then we corrected. This is the localizer deviation, and this is my glide slope. We were pretty nice, okay, until I said we will refuse the ground and go up, and then we corrected. So basically this is the landing report, and you know exactly where you need to work for your landings. Alright, so this is FSiPanel. It is very easy to set up. Here we did a very quick short final, but you can go on a very specific vectors. You can change your distance on final. You can fly from a star, from the airport. Basically, there is plenty of video on the channel if you want to know how to use FSiPanel. And please subscribe if you like the video. Please subscribe. That will help me for the next video. I plan to do a couple of videos on how to fly these specific approaches on all type of aircraft. So please subscribe to the channel. And if you have any comments, please drop me a comment below. I'll be happy to answer all your questions and all your comments. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you liked it, and as always, stay safe.